All right, we are here with Oliver Silzer from TikTok. Oliver, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. It's pouring rain here in New York, but other than that, pretty good.
It's pouring really hard here in Michigan too. My dad would say the plants need it. Um, we're so excited to have you here today. For those of you listening at home, Oliver is the strategic manager of partnerships at TikTok, and he's with us today to talk a little bit about TikTok best practices, how brands can get involved, really give us an insider look at TikTok, and what better way than to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So we're so excited to have you here today, and we can't wait to get started.
Yeah. Flattered to be here. Human, but we're going with horse for the sake of this conversation.
Yeah, so I guess before we jump into some of these questions we wanted to ask you today, would you mind giving a brief overview of what you're handling over at TikTok day to day?
Yeah, absolutely. So in September of 2020, we launched our TikTok marketing partner program. We're working to build an ecosystem of savvy and advanced partners who really understand how to get at the heart of TikTok across a variety of functions, from audience to measurement, all the way through to creative and media buying. So what I specifically focus on is helping build out the creative partnerships arm of our partnership program, predominantly focused on North America, but working with teams globally to help identify who these partners are, educate them on TikTok, bring them on board, and make sure that we're collaborating in a way that is not only healthy for our business and for our partners' business, but is ultimately driving a ton of success for our advertisers, and making the general experience and performance on TikTok a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and that's awesome, and it's been great working directly with you on the Coley side of things.
Agreed. One of our first partners.
Yeah, it was an honor, and everyone was delighted with that, and we're all huge fans of TikTok, and having a TikTok as a partner is great for Coley employees because we can just watch TikToks all day and say we're doing market research. But I think it's a great time to be talking about TikTok, because it's everywhere. It's completely taken over. I'm obsessed. As I said, I'm crushing 3-4 hours of TikTok a day. I was walking through my kitchen the other day, and my mom was sitting on the couch, and from her phone I heard, I was like, that is a TikTok song. I only hear that on TikTok. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm just watching TikToks. And I said, that's amazing. So everyone's kind of doing it.
Love that demographic penetration.
Exactly. And I
Does your mom follow you, Parker?
Does she follow me?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Is
that intentional?
It's really not, because she follows me on everything else, but I haven't really just accepted, or I haven't followed her back. I can see she's trying to send me videos on TikTok, but since I didn't follow her back, they don't go through the way, however it's configured for me. Yeah, so I might let her in. I mean, I have recently gone viral, so I'm more of a public figure now, and my TikTok life isn't very private. So I think everyone's allowed to follow me now.
Hey, if you're having a private life on TikTok, you probably shouldn't be on this platform. And the whole idea is generate content, get as many eyeballs as you can, and spread the good word of whatever it is you're doing. So seems like you're doing the right things.
Yeah, and that's what I love about TikTok. Honestly, it's not like these it's not a private Instagram feed that you're kind of just sharing photos of your friends and family to other friends and family. Like, you can tell when you're on there, the whole point is to create something and put it out to the world, right? And get as many people to see it as possible. And like right now specifically, TikTok is everywhere, and it's relatively, I think, as far as social platforms people have been using, definitely one of the newer ones. And with that, there's a little bit of mystery and mystique around the platform. So I guess, what are the major misconceptions that you hear around TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, I think understanding what our audience looks like. So, oftentimes you hear that people think we're a platform for only Gen Z, for example. But the fact is that we have a really robust audience across different age demographics. Look at your mom, for example. My mom as well. Moms love TikTok. So I think, that just speaks to the power of the platform, is that there is a huge diversity of audience across all major age segments, which allows the platform to be so robust and so diverse in that culture. Another misconception I think often happens is the type of content on TikTok. I think because years ago, when people started hearing about TikTok, a lot of the culture was based on dance and music and lip syncing. And while that's also relevant on our platform, I can't tell you how many different subcultures there are on the platform that different people are talking about and different sorts of content that people are consuming. I hear it from my friends all the time. One person's got like medical and dog TikTok, and then someone else has like political and cooking TikTok. And there's just so many different cultures within the overarching portfolio that you can really find and engage with different types of communities, but also, with a few clicks and a few likes, get yourself into a new pocket of exploration and culture. So I think those are just some of the elements that make the platform really exciting. And lastly, I'd say, I think one of the big misconceptions on TikTok is that it's for a specific person. But, as I think the age demographic point would show and the subculture demographic point would show, there's really something for everybody on TikTok, whether you are a consumer, a brand, someone who wants to create content, or just passively consume it. Getting in there and getting on it. Everybody I know who's started has ended up staying and really finding something that they can sink their teeth into. And I think that's what makes the platform so powerful, so compelling, and also really giving that sense of community, especially after a difficult year like 2020.
I do want to talk a little bit about Gen Z and how advertisers are starting to think about reaching that demographic. Totally get that the platform is absolutely for a variety of different demos, but like I saw the CEO of Amex came out this past week saying that like Gen Z was now their most strategic demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about how in 10 years, it's going to be the Gen Zers, I think they're calling them Zoomers, are going to own the global economy and ultimately, right at that 10-year mark, start to surpass millennials in terms of like aggregate spend by generation. So how are advertisers thinking about reaching that demo on TikTok?
Yeah, and speaking to that demo, and also just kind of what I think TikTok has brought to the short form content and social sort of realm in general is a sense of authenticity and honesty.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where you're just hammering someone over the head with the same kind of bland and I don't want to say dishonest, but perhaps disingenuous messaging that is coming across in a lot of older advertising. People don't want to hear that everything is perfect and that everything is clean and that the experience is untouchable and nothing's wrong. People want to be honest with themselves. They want to connect in a genuine way. And whether you're a brand that wants to present yourself as humorous or inspiring or honest or real, whatever that sort of approach is that you want to take, or combination of approaches, that's the sort of culture that resonates on our platform. And I think just from my understanding and the reading I do about the marketing world in general, that's something that really matters especially the younger audience. So think, younger millennials and Gen Z or Zoomers, as you so nicely put it. And that's what they want to see. They want to see brands that are coming to them in an authentic way, and reaching out to them as a person, not as just a dollar sign. And I think, overall, aside from it's not surprising that that's sort of where the two things really intersect. That's what people want. That's what TikTok is providing a medium for. And that's what I think brands should really strive to do. And kudos to those who have, and a real opportunity for those that haven't.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting to think about Gen Zers and how they've grown up through their these transformative years, right? Think about going through your teens with all of these social networks, these social channels, and they're not even using SMS to communicate with their friends. Like a lot of them are using TikTok, and not even necessarily through video. It's more of the chat function.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense that their authenticity or BS meter is like pretty crisp. They grew up on these channels.
Yeah.
They know what's real.
Yeah, they've seen it all. They've done it all. They've probably clicked on a million different things. And at the end of the day, they also have values in terms, everybody's values in terms of things, but they have a big focus on justice and social concerns and the environment. And some of these things that are really important, especially to the younger generation, are things that require a bit of honesty and a bit of reality. And they're not just things that can be swept under the rug with a happy, peachy message. But I think, at the same time, while that requires some reassessment and rejiggering of how you're presenting your brand, you can still do so in a way that shows the positivity and the strong importance of your brand, but doing so in a way that is, again, honest and sincere in the message that it's putting across.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, and a really interesting point about, and I see it to be true all the time, is that like, especially on TikTok, the authentic content tends to win, or tends to resonate better. Putting yourself in the shoes of like a marketing team, authenticity, I think, is one of the hardest things to capture, because it's quite literally the definition of authenticity is the opposite of what you're doing, is you're staging or putting on display how you want your brand to look, or what you want this campaign to look like. I think what I'd like to know is, what advice would you give to marketing teams who know that you need to be super authentic on TikTok, and want to have that authenticity in their content? How would you advise them to capture that authenticity and put it on display?
Sure. Yeah. First and foremost, I'd ask them all to think about their brand, and their consumers and who they're engaging with and the content that they're putting forth and some of their core values, and just be able to step back and say, hey, aside from being a profitable company, and giving people good products or services or whatever that is, what are some of the things that we as a company really care about? How do we want to present ourselves? How do we believe our brand? Is our brand one that takes an approach where we are making good jokes and we have humorous advertising, something like Geico? Maybe it's different where you say, we want to be real enthusiastic and real honest about what's important to people. You've seen Google and Apple doing some of that messaging where it's about, true, genuine human connection. So I think just thinking aside from, hey, this is our product, more of a who are we, is a great first step in assessing that. I'd also recommend spending some time on the platform. There's no better way to understand what sort of messaging and content one can be putting forward than getting involved in the community itself. You'll see amazing ideas. You'll see other brands. You'll see individuals creating awesome content. You'll see all different types of styles and approaches. And I think familiarizing yourself with the type of content that's on the platform, but more importantly, the full scope of the type of content on the platform, will allow you to see it in a much more wholesome light. And then lastly, I'd say, generally speaking, everyone's got to find their voice. It's hard to walk into a new medium or new channel and just come in, unequivocally saying, this is exactly who we are. This is exactly what we do. We're a new platform. There's a new audience here. There's a new way of connecting. And we're kind of rewriting the rules on the way people are doing marketing. So I'd ask people to come in with an open mind, see what you like, test and learn, try different approaches, work with different creators, collaborate with different companies, to really find your voice on the platform. Don't come in saying, this is unequivocally who I am and what we're going to do. Say, who are we to this community? Who are we as a company and what we believe in? And how do we make sure those two are coming across in a really positive light?
I've heard you talk in the past about the value of joining the conversation organically. Oftentimes before you even get involved in a paid capacity, or simultaneously, just to start to understand on more of like a micro level, like, hey, this is what's being shared. This is what's connecting. This is a type of content that people want to digest. So it makes sense to do them congruently. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about getting involved. I think,
Right.
as in times with anything for that matter, sometimes looking at something as a distance, you're looking at a pool saying that deep end looks scary. I don't know if I'm going to jump in. There's only really one way to figure out, jump in, start swimming around, and you realize how much of a good time it is, how much opportunity there is, and honestly, how much better the experience is for parties on all sides when it's coming across in a genuine and honest and open way.
Yeah. I think that's such a great point about spending time in the app. It reminds me of a couple of things. For a while, I was taking over the Coley Instagram. We have this amazing intern named Angela, and Instagram's not really my jam personally. I don't spend that much time in it. And so like, I was always kind of felt like a fish out of water there. Like, I didn't really know how to make a post or like what like the trends on Instagram or anything like that. And she took it over, and she's a big fan of Instagram and has done such a better job than me. And I also found the same thing with Twitter. Last time I used Twitter was back in like high school. I recently re-downloaded it and got going again, and I couldn't remember how to use this. And I felt like I was 75. I texted my friend and said, how do I compose a tweet? And he said, it's the feather in the bottom right corner. I said, that is not very intuitive. But I figured it out. once you spend time on TikTok, you start to understand exactly what this is for, the types of content people are looking for. And that ultimately is going to translate into your paid strategy, and help guide you as to what types of content to create for your brand and what types of content to test.
Yeah, and it sounds like you figured out TikTok if you got one that's going viral already. So I guess we know who's going to be running the Coley account now.
Yeah, that's interesting actually, because the video that ended up going viral for me was posted by my friend, and it didn't do any numbers. And I was like, this is such a wasted opportunity, because this video is amazing. I repurposed it on my own account and just did a couple extra hashtags, and next thing you know, woke up, I had 60,000 views. It's a weird thing to wake up to if you weren't planning on it. But
can you tell us what you tweeted?
What did I tweet?
Were you tweeting a link to your TikTok video?
No, I tweeted the Star Wars prequels weren't that bad.
Okay. That's what you re-downloaded
to stir the pot. That's going to get a lot of people on your side and a lot of people against you.
Yeah.
I know. I personally feel like the prequels are not that bad. You know,
you have to have a hot take in life. No one's going to listen.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take Darth Maul any day of the week. He is amazing.
So you re-downloaded Twitter to say that?
Of course. Yeah, I tweeted a few things since then.
Just stir the pot.
Yeah, and then you deleted it right after and got out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Fight about this. I'm out of
here. I tweet like once every 3 weeks. The other day I tweeted, tonight at the movie theater was the best night I've had in a long time. People seem to resonate with that one.
The Cheesecake Factory line?
Exactly.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Yeah, so I touched on it a little bit, but testing specifically, understanding, you know, because at Coley, a big thing for us is we always encourage brands to generate a diverse set of content pieces, and then test those like crazy across all your channels and really understand what resonates in a paid capacity specifically. Is there anything you would recommend on the testing front? Do you think it's more of just consistently posting, or is it trying a bunch of different things that, you know, might be quite different from each other, to figure out what aspects of each resonated? Just basically, like, what, as far as testing goes, do you recommend for a brand to best understand what's resonating with their audiences?
Yeah, you know, first and foremost, on TikTok, content is the key, right? On certain other channels, you can do a million types of bid manipulations and keyword manipulations and targeting approaches, and while all of that is welcome and available for you on TikTok, the thing that's going to be most important is that you have quality content, because the same way that happens organically, our algorithm is determining what sort of content is best resonating with people and what do people have a proclivity to engage with. So, you know, I would really recommend that brands that are new to TikTok or trying the platform out for the first time take an approach that's considerate of that. They want to put out quality content. Now, quality can be defined in a little different ways. That doesn't necessarily mean come in with, you know, high-end studio polished, you know, $1 million budget work. But at the same time, you do need to strike a balance between, hey, this content is engaging and it's stimulating and it'll draw eyeballs. On top of that, you want to balance that with a frequent amount of posting. You know, our algorithm can send a post from 3 weeks ago. It picks up some steam and all of a sudden it has 1 million views. So I think it's about finding the balance between, you know, putting out content at a pretty frequent rate, but not just putting out content for the sake of it. Think about what you want to put out. Think about how that's gonna resonate with people. Think about how that's portraying your messaging. And to your point earlier, try different things. You know, there isn't a one size fits all approach to TikTok. It's about finding your voice and your niche on that. And so continuing to say, I'm going to put forward content. I'm going to be in tune with the trends. I'm going to try different things. I'm going to go out on a limb and be a little creative and be a little honest in how I'm approaching this, I think is really the key to success. And then, you know, at the same time, for brands, you know, using a paid strategy is super helpful. Your organic reach could skyrocket, but it could also not. And so being able to say, hey, we're here, we're creating great content, we have a great message to get across to you. Taking advantage of some of our advertising options, whether that's auction, in feed, or one of our reservation buys, is just another chance for you to get your message out in a more direct way, reach many more people, and then show, you know, the broader community, this is what you're here, this is what you're about, and this is what you want to connect on.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so to expand on that, you know, we've established the best practices or the recommendations and what is going to lead to videos that will end up performing on TikTok, hopefully, right? It's authenticity is super important. So moving past that, like, what do you think are some of the best options for actually creating that content, right? Because I know like Nerf famously has the chief TikTok officer, this college student who's putting out awesome stuff. A couple other brands are doing that, kind of making like positions for TikTok creators. So I don't think that's the recommendation for every brand quite yet, but that's just one that I've seen. So what are the different options for creating content?
Sure, I think there's a variety of ways to go. You know, you can do everything from taking the existing content you have and reformatting it for TikTok to collaborating with directly with creators. You know, so you really need to think about, how do I want to put my content forward? You know, I'd say at the end of the day, it's really important to put out content that looks and feels like TikTok. You don't want to be necessarily taking your 30-second TV commercial and bringing that on the platform, because it's not going to fit the look and feel of TikTok. So we recommend, you know, working with some of the amazing creators we have on the platform. We also have amazing partners like yourselves that help tap into an even broader network of creators and individuals who can create content where it's not necessarily about, hey, I'm the biggest name on the platform, but hey, this is a really great piece of content, and this is something that is going to resonate with a lot of people, and something we're able to get efficiently and at scale. So I think identifying those people, whether it be through partnerships or creators directly, or even other partners we have that produce quality TikTok work, and tapping into that and seeing how you can best collaborate with those companies to bring your ethos and your vision here, but also allow the partners and the creators our partners work with to develop content that's really going to resonate and fit the vision of the platform. And that's why we work so closely together, right? It's because we know that there's this really unique opportunity to drive success for brands as they're starting to get comfortable with the platform. And we want to make sure that everyone who's advertising on the platform or even posting organically understands how that's done. And then, you know, lastly, I'd say, empower your employees. You know, if you're a company with a lot of different people and some of them are interested in TikTok, well, I wouldn't say give them the keys and then necessarily, you know, turn your head and let them run wild. You know, I also think it is an interesting opportunity to say, you know, there's all these great resources we have, but whether it's ideation or content creation or even just testing against other variables, you know, what do the teams we have at our resources? What are they capable of? What are they interested in? So, you know, I think the big thing is not coming to TikTok and saying, I'm not familiar with this platform, I'm not familiar with this format, I don't know if it really fits our brand. It fits every brand, and it's here for every brand, and every brand can find success here. I think it's just a matter of collaborating with the right parties to bring those visions to life and do so in a way that speaks to your brand and your core values, but at the same time is reminiscent and it embodies what makes TikTok so great.
Yeah, that was beautifully said.
Thank you.
This is inspiring.
First podcast, I'm trying to nail it.
This is like my 100th, 200th podcast. But yeah, that's very well said. I think like as far as TikTok goes, it seems to me the most important thing is, you know, make TikToks, right?
Yep.
And not ads. And I know that's the tagline, but it's very true, right? It's you're not gonna win on those ads in most cases with, you know, this beautiful Samsung Galaxy commercial where the phone is sliding across the table or whatever it is, you know. It's really going to be these authentic ones. And I've even seen local car dealerships with, I assume it's people who work at the car dealerships are walking through the lot and just like messing around. And it's a car dealership up the road and they're literally advertising the price of Corollas to me. And it's did I buy a Corolla yet? No. I'm moving back to New York. I don't need a car.
That's fair. That's fair.
At least not yet. We'll
That
see.
Corolla is on your mind because of that
Thinking about it.
geo-targeted TikTok ad.
I know, and that fuel economy, it's hard to argue with.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
All right. Well, we're approaching time here. It was really great to have you. Before we send you on your way and let you get back to your life, for all the brands listening at home and advertisers and marketers that are curious about TikTok, haven't really got started yet or have only got started a little bit, what do you think is the main takeaway for them? The main thing that they should bring home with them after listening to this?
Yeah, I think that TikTok is an opportunity. It shouldn't be viewed as a challenge. TikTok is not a place I have to be. It's not a place that you should feel intimidated by. It's an opportunity. It's a new platform connecting with a super broad audience in a very different way, in a very authentic way. And I think when you come to TikTok, you should see it as such. Not look at it as this is another place where I have to invest my time and resources, but an opportunity to connect with a very diverse and very engaged audience in a way that helps you show your brand in the best and most real light possible. And that's ultimately what's going to drive success and what I think is going to resonate with people. It resonates with people now, and I think it will continue to resonate with people. So, with that in mind, I recommend coming in, trying out the platform, familiarizing yourself with what's happening here and the culture around it, and then beginning to play. Get involved, get your hands in the dirt. There's no better way to really understand TikTok than spending some time on it. And I'm sure that once you do, you'll walk away from it saying, wow, I should have been doing work for the last hour because there was so much awesome stuff on there I couldn't stop watching. And two, this is the sort of content that we should be making for our brand because we realize the opportunity to connect with consumers.
Yeah. Moral of the story, spend some time on TikTok. You'll learn something. You'll have a lot of fun. I certainly do every time. Oliver, it was so great having you. Thank you so much for doing this. Love working with you and the TikTok team. If you want to get in touch with Oliver, we'll link to his LinkedIn in the description. Oliver, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And you're looking for content, don't forget to hit up Coley. They do some awesome work.
Thank you.
They did not pay me to say that.